women are the kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think they're meant to have babies. That's
Well,
it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist, and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue
No.
for you?
No, it's not automatically an issue.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote.
Looking at the leadership page for Christ Church,
Right.
it's all men. Do you accept women in leadership roles in the church and in government?
In the church, no.
Why?
Because the Bible says not to.
Well, that's not what happens in the Bible. Women do lead all the time.
Progressive faith leader Reverend Jennifer Butler is concerned about Wilson's growing influence.
He is rapidly gaining in power. He has hundreds of churches established around the country. They actually literally want to take over towns and cities, and they have access to this administration.
Reverend. Joining me now, minister of Christ Church in Moscow, Idaho, Douglas Wilson. I loved the interview, Pastor, how mortified she was at the basic teachings that are in the Bible. Should women be in church leadership? No, it's laid out pretty well by Paul.
Right. It's kind of just says it right there. Yeah.
No.
And then the lady said, "Oh, they lead all the time." I think, man, what Bible are you reading?
Well, I actually wanted to ask you about that because I went to Boston recently. I had to go back there for work. And one, it was a beautiful city, I should note. But 2, I think every single church I walked past had pride flags hanging on them. Is this a specific denomination problem in the country? How in the world do we end up with female reverends with pride flags dangling from the churches? How did we get here?
Yeah, I think that's a function of it being in New England. When the settlers landed, when the Puritans built out the superstructure, the interrelationship of church and state and all of that in New England, it was robustly Christian and Bible believing and so on. But when it went to seed over a century ago in New England, it's what you have in the Bible where they have the form of religion, but they deny the power of it. Basically, that's what apostasy looks like.
In the interview, she asked you about us being a Christian nation. Here it was.
Is planting a church in D.C. part of your mission to try to turn this into a Christian nation?
Yes. So every society is theocratic. The only question is who's theo. In a secular democracy, it would be demos, the people. In a Christian republic, it'd be Christ.
Well, what would you say to someone watching this to say, look, I'm a Muslim. Who are you to say your worldview is better than mine, that your God is better than mine?
Well, if I went to Saudi Arabia, I would fully expect to live under their God's rules.
But you said earlier that you want this to be a Christian world.
Yes.
So you want to supplant their religion with your Christian.
Yes, by peaceful means, by sharing the gospel. There's a lot of work yet to do. I believe that we are working our little corner of the vineyard.
Was she as mortified by you as it appears in the video?
She was as astonished, right? She was very affable and friendly in person, and I really appreciated interacting with her. But we did astonish her. So a lot of those reaction shots were reactions to things that she wasn't expecting anybody in the modern world to actually say. So it was more surprise than anything else. Just astonishment.
What? Why are there so few who speak like this now? This is all biblical stuff. None of this stuff shocks me, and none of it would shock anybody who opened up a Bible. Why don't more pastors speak like this now? How did we get so soft?
Yeah, we were cowed into thinking that it would be possible for us to hold these convictions behind our eyes and between our ears, and then we'll just believe these things in our faith community, and if we play nice, then they're going to leave us alone. And that was a lie. and it turns out they're not going to leave us alone. And a lot of Christians are starting to wake up. Oh, they're not keeping they're not keeping their deal. We shouldn't have gone along with the deal in the first place, but doubly so now that they're not keeping it.
No doubt. She also asked you about the Supreme Court, gay marriage. Here it was.
What he also wants gone, same-sex marriage, because he thinks homosexuality is a crime.
In the late 70s and early 80s, sodomy was a felony in all 50 states. That America of that day was not a totalitarian hellhole.
So you would like America to go back to that?
Yep.
Yeah, a burger bill must go down.
Yeah, that was the Democrat Party's position back in Obama. This is, I mean, where we're at now is new. People don't realize how new it is.
Yeah, it's an utter novelty. And when you read the Obergefell decision, as I have done, Justice Kennedy was just pulling things out of the stratosphere. It was just a remarkable display of arrogance, really. The human race has understood what marriage was for thousands of years, and then there's this fad comes along about the same epistemic level of the hula hoop, right? This fad comes along, everybody's swept up in it, and we start tinkering with ancient law, and we just set it aside for the sake of this cockamamie understanding of marriage. Okay, come on. And then they tried to enforce it afterwards with the cudgel. So anybody who has eyes in their head and knows that male and female together make it possible to have babies, an old school approach to this sort of thing. If anybody is bold enough to say those sorts of things in public, they get hounded and harassed and fired and made a public display of. It's just astonishing.
It is. Pastor, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.